Welcome to TestRoom, your go-to hub for professional knowledge sharing. In the previous video, we explored different Selenium locators. In this video, we will focus on performing the actions on Selenium element using those locators with practical example to guide you through. We will be covering from the basic element actions like clicking the buttons and entering the text to advanced tasks like handling the frames, windows, and JavaScript execution. We will also learn about the synchronization techniques like waiting and then dealing with the browser alerts and pop-ups. Before we discuss more on the Selenium action, I would recommend you to watch my video on Selenium, which explains the Selenium WebDriver interface and class hierarchy. This provides you with a solid foundational for understanding the concept that we will be covering. So please go through the video number 4 that says about Selenium WebDriver interface and classes hierarchy, where I am explaining about the complete the interfaces and the classes from the Selenium WebDriver. That will be basically give you some of the ideas like what are the methods that are exposed by each of these interfaces and that those are implemented by the classes to perform the various actions on the web element like reading the text, performing the operations like click, navigating through the different URLs, then changing the windows, locating through the iframes, etc. This list shows some of the core actions that you can perform using Selenium, and I am categorized them into the different categories. Okay, the basic element interactions. Here you can learn how to perform click actions, feeding the input text, clearing the text, submitting the forms, etc. Then form elements and inputs, working with the drop-down list, checkboxes, radio buttons, text retrievals, getting a text, getting an attribute, CSS properties for a given element, browser navigation, navigating through URLs, then refreshing the pages, going back and front, handling the new tabs, windows, etc. Windows and frames, switching between the different windows using window handler, and then handling the high frames. Then alerts and pop-ups, handling the JavaScript alerts, reading a text, interacting with the prompts, reading a text from the prompts, then sending some inputs to the prompts, okay, performing the click operations on the alerts and pop-ups. Okay, waiting and synchronization, basically implementing the implicit wait and then waiting for the certain state to be filled. For example, waiting if a particular element is visible and things like that, and fluent waits for precise synchronization. Then advanced interaction like the mouse hovers, right click, double click, drag and drop, keyboard actions, etc. JavaScript execution, running some custom JavaScript to interact with the web page. Screenshot capture, capturing the screenshots of full about a full the browser screen or specific elements of your interest. Then handling the sessions and cookies, adding a cookies, deleting a cookies, managing the cookies and caches. Let us go and try each of these actions in robot framework. Okay, to demonstrate the click action, I have prepared a small script which is not complete. I have written under the test case section, I have written a test case for form click action. If you see throughout this tutorial, I will be using this particular the robot file, and I will be using these two commands because I have to open a browser and I have to maximize the browser. Since I am using it multiple times, I will write this as an keyword. Okay, I will write it as a keyword. So what I will do, I will create a keyword section for that, and then I will write a keyword like open browser and and maximize. Okay, for this I have to take two arguments. The arguments are the input URL that I want to navigate to, that should be within a variable, scalar variable, and then I have to use the browser type. Browser type. Okay, then I will copy paste these two lines here. Sorry, I will take out, and instead of this, okay, I will be, so what I will do here, I'll just call this keyword here, and then I will pass these two as a parameter. Okay, inside which I'll replace with this input URL and this with the browser keyword. Now my keyword is ready, which takes two parameters, the input URL, and it navigate to the URL using open browser, and this will then with the given browser type. So I am using this particular keyword and I am passing these two parameters. Now as part of this exercise, I am going to perform a click action. As part of this exercise, I am going to click a particular web element. Okay, so for this example, I am going to click the automobile element, and when I click the automobile element, it is going to the next page, and in the next page we can see the next icon basically appears. So as part of a verification, what you can put, if this particular item appears, that means it has navigated to the next page. Okay, so what we can do, we can go and get a locator for automotive. So basically we can come back to the original page and to try to get then okay, this has got an ID. We can navigate through an ID or using an XPath. So we can create as an variable like uh, it is called as an locator for automobile element. Okay, I'll give something like this. This will be using ID, and the ID value is this one. Okay, now what I have to do, after maximizing the browser, I have to do I have to perform the click operation, which is using the Selenium keyword, Selenium library dot click element, that is using this one. And once the operation is the perform, then what I am going to do, I am going to verify whether the particular next item is being displayed in the screen. Okay, so for that I will also get it has got an ID, so I will put it here again as ID colon this one, but the value for this is equal to ID, and the value for is locator next element. Okay, locator next element. Once the click operation is done, so in order to verify the click operation is successful, I have to wait till this particular element visible on a page. Okay, Selenium has got a special function to wait for the element to visible on a page. Okay, so before I introduce this wait element concept, I wanted to introduce the wait concept in robot framework Selenium. Selenium offers three distinct wait strategies to handle element loading. They are implicit wait, explicit wait, and page load timeout. These three strategies ensure that elements are located or pages are fully loaded before proceeding with the further actions. Implicit wait. So in case of robot framework Selenium, you can set implicit wait using the keyword set selenium implicit wait. It takes one parameter that indicates number of seconds that you need to wait before timing out. So this is used for global wait for finding an element. For example, in case if you want to perform a click operation on an automobile menu, so if you set selenium implicit wait as 5 seconds, so the selenium will wait basically for 5 seconds to locate this particular element. Here in this case it is an automobile element. In case if it is not able to locate this particular element for a given 5 second, then it times out, giving an no such element found exception. Okay, the scope is it applies to all the elements locating actions. For in order it is irrespective of any kind of locator actions. It is used for all kind of locating actions. By default the value is 0 second. If you don't set uh, this implicit wait using this keyword, by default the value is 0 second. That means Selenium will only go and wait for 0 second before it times out. Customization adjustable per session. Wherever you want to set a different kind of an wait function. For example, for finding some element you have set as 5 second. If you want to change the set selenium implicit wait to 10 second, you can set immediately before you perform that particular action. Okay, so for example, you know that the once you perform a search, the search results appears after 15 seconds. Okay, initially you set the selenium implicit wait as a 5 second, and later you find out that the search operation takes 15 seconds to basically find a particular element. Then you can change before you execute that particular keyword, you can change set selenium wait implicit wait as 15 second, and then you can call the particular keyword to perform the search operations. Okay, it is a generic implicit wait is a generic functionality. It can be used for introducing a delay in identifying any kind of elements in general. Okay, the it times out when it is not able to find an element within the given period of time. It basically sends out an exception which is called as no such element found exception. So next category is an implicit wait, which can be set using a Selenium keyword called Selenium set Selenium timeout, which takes one parameter which basically specify the timeout, right, timeout value. Okay, which generally explicit waits are used uh, for a particular for validating a particular conditions, like for example like the visibility of an element, the presence of an element. Whenever you are using keywords like wait until this particular element is visible, wait until this particular element is present, in such conditions, okay, you can use the explicit wait. Scope is applies to the explicit wait keywords globally. Okay, whenever you're using these kind of a conditions, then um, once you set, you can use it globally. Okay, and by default the value is 5 second. Like the Selenium implicit wait, you can also adjust the Selenium explicit wait based on your use case, and it is generally used for waiting a dynamic conditions. Okay, and it will not throw an error like no such element found, but it will be throwing an error, a custom error based on your usage. For example, if you are using a keyword like wait until the element is visible, in such cases it will throw a different error than the waiting for element to present. Okay, the kind of error it throws is an custom error. The third strategy is set Selenium page load timeout, which also takes one parameter, like the amount of time it has to wait till the all the elements in page to be loaded. Okay, purpose is timeout for handling the web page until all the elements in a web page gets loaded. Applies to the page load operation. The default value is around the 30 seconds. Like other keywords, the it is also adjustable per session. Okay, it is mainly used to handle the handling of the slow loading pages. For example, if a particular page is very heavy and it has got a lot of JavaScripts and Ajax calls and things like that, if it takes more time to load, for example more than 30 seconds, then you can set Selenium page load timeout for that particular operations. Okay, the timeout is the timeout exception, generic timeout exception. It basically gives when the particular page is not able to load within a given time. These are the three wait strategies that are used in Selenium um, in order to find an element, right? In order to find an element, like a generic finding or a finding based on some conditions, or the loading the page. Okay, so these are very powerful. We often use them while performing different actions on the web elements. What I will do now, I will try to introduce both the implicit and explicit wait in order to identify an element. So for the implicit wait, what I will do, I will use Selenium library dot set Selenium implicit wait, and it will take one parameter, which is the time value. I will give as a 10 second, and again I will try to introduce the explicit wait. Set Selenium timeout. This is used for explicit wait. This also I will give 10 second. I am setting both the implicit and explicit wait under the open browser and maximize function. This is an ideal place where we can set, because we will be calling this function in all our test cases. Okay, so before even I try to click an element, what I will do is I will try to see whether the element is visible in a page or not. Okay, so for that I will call a keyword wait until the element is visible or not. For that I will pass this locator. Okay, so this is where basically the explicit wait will be used. So I have given an explicit wait of 10 seconds. So the Selenium library will try to wait until this particular locator is visible, until this particular element is visible on this sample Tricentis web page, and once this element is visible, then it try to perform a click operations. Okay, so for this keyword it will be using an implicit wait. So explicit wait will be used for the identifying element where the condition is involved. Here the condition is the element is visible or not. Okay, for all the other operations like click, get text and other operation, generic operation, the implicit time will be used. Once the click operation is successful, then I will try to wait until the next element is visible, right? So for that I will be using the wait until the element is visible function, and I will be passing the locator of the next element. Once that is done, I will try to extract the text of next element using a function, using a keyword called get text, and the locator is the locator of the next element. Then I need to compare, which is by using should be equal as a strings, and I have to pass a red text. Along with that, I need to pass the what text I am expecting. The text I am expecting here is the next, and I will capture and I'll try to put it here. Okay. Now what I will do, try to I will try to close the browser. That is the last step I will be doing it. Close all browser. Okay. Now I'll try to execute a test. You can see, yeah, it happened so fast that yeah, it finished the complete testing, right? So the test case passed. So you can go and see the log as well, and also the report. The report will be is saved at this particular path. Let us go to here and let us try to open the output.xml. Sorry, let us try to open the output.html. And you can go to log.html. And if you see, these are the list of operations that we have performed. First, we were waiting for this the automobile element. Once it is visible, then we perform the click operation, and after that we waited till the particular next element is visible on the screen. Okay, because once we click, the entire operation goes into the next page where the next element will be visible, right? So then after that we will try to extract the text which is next, then greater than, then we compare that with the actual text. So this comparison is passed, and after that we closed all these browsers. This is how basically perform the we can perform the click operation along with the implicit and explicit wait. Hope you understood this concept. Now we will try to understand how to input a text into a text box. Okay, for this I will be clicking the automobile button, and if you see, this loads up a new page where I have a text button called as an engine performance. This takes an integer value from 1 to 2000. As soon as I enter a valid value, I'll get this the right tick mark. Now let us go and automate this the example, and for this we need a locator to identify this text box. The locator will be using an ID. We can put it as ID or an XPath. I already put as an XPath. So what I can do is instead of this, okay, let us do like this. Let us take this and put ID colon engine performance, locator for engine performance text, engine performance text box. Okay, after this we also need an locator for the right mark, right? So this is an icon. This icon is under this particular class. I think this icon is under this particular class. So we can write an XPath for this. What we can do is / div at class equals to the class attribute value, then it has an icon. Okay, so let us take this and we can put value as text box icon. Let us go and create a test case for this. Fill the text box. I'll be calling this statement, and I'll be basically reusing up to here. Reusing, I don't need this. Okay, instead of this locator, what I can do, I will be clicking the automobile button. After that, I will be waiting for the text box. The locator for the text box is this locator. I can use this. Then using the Selenium library, I can input a text. Input text. This takes 2 parameters. These are mandatory parameters. Locator and a text I am passing is 1. Okay, and I can also give another parameter called as clear. Clear equals to, I think what is the value we have to give. It takes clear is a bool, the value is true. That means it will, if there are any input, that is any text that is already existing in that text box, it will clear that text box and try to input the value that you specified here. Okay, and after that I need to verify the tick mark as well, and the icon. This is basically XPath. I have to specify as XPath colon. I can take this. I'll put it here. After this, I'll be closing the browser. So what I will do, I will try to execute in a debug mode, and I will I want to put a breakpoint here so that you can see what are the actions that are happening. Otherwise, it will close the browser very quickly. Let us go and try and execute this. It is taking a little bit more time to load the URL. Okay, it has loaded the URL. Maximize the screen. You see, it has performed all these operations very quickly. It took a time to navigate to this particular URL. Once that is done, other operations are very fast. So this is how we can basically input the text box. So for this you need to use a keyword called input text, which takes 2 mandatory parameters, the locator and the value. And after that, if you need to clear the text box before you fill in the data, then you can pass this attribute clear equal to true. So let us continue the execution so that it closes the browser. Now let us play around with the drop down box, such as selecting an item and reading the text from the drop down box. In order to work with the drop down box, we need a locator, and we need a locator of the parent element. Okay, if you see here, the locator of the parent element is the make. Select with an ID make, and I have already taken the XPath for them. Let us put it in our variable section as this is XPath colon this value, and we can take it as locator underscore. The value for this we can take is the make drop down. Okay, make drop down. Okay, this is the parent element. Okay, under which we have multiple elements which can be recognized using the options. What I will do is I will try to derive the locator for these each of these elements. I will not go and hard code it. I will try to derive it dynamically using the index. Like for example, if I write option, then there are 16 elements, and then what I will do, I will try to, with the index, I will be able to traverse one by one. If I give 1, it will select the first element. If I give 2, it will select the second element, and so on. So let us use this index method. From what I will do, from 1 to 16, because there are, if you see, there are 16 child elements. From 1 to 16, I will try to select each of the element one by one. Okay, let us try to do that. Let us go to PyCharm and make an entry for this XPath. And then this is the drop down child item. Now what I will try to do is I will try to create a test case for this. Select an item in drop box. I will be using up to here. My script is ready now. This script is meant to select an item within the drop down list, and for that I will be dynamically creating a locator for the child element. Okay, so I will be dynamically creating locator for child element, which is like option 1, option 2. Okay, inside the for loop, the for loop iterates from 1 till the number of elements plus 1, number of elements plus 1. So the number of child elements here are, if you see, number of child elements are 16. So I'll be using a range from 1 to 17. Then this will execute a loop from 1 to 16. Let us go to the PyCharm and I'll make you understand this particular code. Up to here we might have used many times, you know that. So it will open the browser and it will navigate to this demo app. Then it will click the automobile link. Then it will bring out a new screen where you can see the make drop down. So I am talking about this particular screen, and here there is a make drop down list, right? And then I'll be trying to get the element of the number of child elements for a based on the locator. So my locator is this is the locator I am using. If I go and use this locator, basically here in the inspect, so you can see there are 16 occurrences of child element. So I will be using this as an count to iterate over each of these elements, and rather than using this, I can basically use locator instead of hard coding it. I can use that variable directly here, and after that I will be incrementing the number of elements by 1. That is because in order to, if you are using a for loop using a range, it will iterate. If you are, for example, if you give the range from 1 to 10, then it will loop through 9 times, right? So here I have to loop through the 16 times. That is why I am making the number of items as 17 here. Okay, I am adding by 1. So evaluate function basically evaluate the expression. Then I am putting them in a for loop starting from 1 and till the end of till the number of child elements plus 1. Then after that I am trying to create a dynamic locator which will be basically your child locator. This is your child locator. Then I will be adding the bracket. Here I will be adding the counter. Counter will start always from 1 to 16, right? So first time it will be 1, second time it will be 2, third time it will be 3, 4, and like that. And then I will be closing the bracket. The new locator will be something like this: open bracket, then an index, then the close bracket. It is something like that. And first what I will be doing, I will be going to the main element, that is the make element, and clicking this button. Once the list opens up, then I will be selecting the child of my interest. Again I am clicking element. So I will be performing the 2 click operations. That will be, you can see I will be doing the 2 click operations. And first time I will be clicking the main, clicking the make element, which is the parent. Then I will be selecting the child element. Then I will be selecting the child element basically. Okay, that is what I am basically performing. And after that I will be closing the browser. Okay, so when I try to execute this particular command, the Selenium library get element count for this particular the locator, it will be giving me as a value as 16. Then I will be incrementing it. Okay, let us go and try and execute this script. If you see, the last element that selected was Volvo. Volvo was the last child element in this particular dropdown. Yeah, then I will be closing this browser. This is how basically you can play around with the drop down list. You can from the parent, you can navigate to the child element, and you can select the child element of your interest. Okay, using the for loop. If you want to select a particular element, you can directly for example, if you want to select, for example, say the instead of BMW, if you want to select a Honda is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th position, you can directly use the index as 5. Let us work with checkboxes and radio buttons. Let us find a suitable screen to work with the radio buttons and checkboxes. So let us click automobile. It will take you into this particular screen. And if I click on the next button, here you can see the radio buttons as well as checkboxes. I have created test case to interact with the radio button. In this test case, I will be opening a browser and navigating to the URL, and then I will be maximizing browser. And during this course, I will also be setting the implicit and explicit weights. Once that is done, I'll be waiting for the automobile button to load. Once that button is visible, I will be clicking that. Then I'll be waiting, since the control goes to the next screen, I'll be waiting for the next element. And once the next element is visible, I am trying to click that so that we will reach the page where we can interact with the radio buttons. Okay, up to that point the script is ready. Up to this point script is ready. Now I will try to work with the radio button. So in order to work with the radio button, Selenium has a built-in function called select radio button, which basically takes 2 parameters. One is a group name and another one is a value. So if you go to the radio button and try to inspect, the exact identifier for the radio button male is input ID equal to gender male. Okay, and it has got a name as gender and the value as male. So you can use the group as gender and value as male for the Selenium for the Selenium function here. So if you see in the Selenium select radio button, it takes two parameter, group name and value. Here the group name is gender and the value is male, that you can obtain by the parameter the name. Name gives the group name and the value gives the male. So the group name, I can give the group name as gender and value as male. But unfortunately, sometimes this function does not work as out of the box, and it has a tendency to fail. It will sometimes it fails to click using select radio button by passing the group name and the value, because it says sometime an exception that it is the click is interrupted. In order to overcome that, we will have to write our own custom function to interact with the radio buttons to perform select and unselect operations. By using the exact identifier, sometimes it is not possible to perform the click operation. That is why the select radio button function from the robot framework Selenium fails. So in order to overcome that, we have to go the parent item of the male gender male, the radio button, and then we will have to perform the click operations. So let us go and identify the locator for that in order to interact with the male radio button. Okay, so I'll take this and I'll do Control F. I will use construct an XPath input at id equals to gender male, then I have to give slash parent colon the value is the label, right? The value is label. So now it selects an item. Let us take this locator and go to PyCharm and store it in a variable. So this is basically an XPath. The value is locator radio button male. Okay, for similarly for female also we can make an entry, and for the female the value is gender female. Okay, so this is a female, and using which we can basically perform a click operation. I'll remove this. Rather than this, what I will do, I will wait for the element to visible. So this is an variable. Okay, then I will perform the click operation. Now it should go and click the radio button, but observe a small change in the element tree. When we try to click the radio button, the value of this span class changes. Earlier it was, for example, it was like ideal radio. Now it is changed to ideal radio focus checked. So using which we can confirm that whether the selection of the radio button happened properly or not. So let us go and identify the XPath for that. It is under span at class equal to Let us go and store this as well. This is also an XPath, and the value is ready button. I'll put it as male selected. Okay. I'll take this. Then after clicking this, I will wait for the element to visible. I'll give this locator. After that, I will close all the browsers. I'll put a checkpoint here. Now I'll try to execute this. Yeah, it has passed. It has come to here, and then this is how you can select the radio buttons. So in case if you want to select the female radio button, you can also do this. You can go and instead of male, you can use a female here, and then for the female checked, I think this is also the same thing, I guess. For female also it is checked. Yeah, so I think rather than using it standalone, I think we will use it based on the parent. Okay, we'll try to use this based on the parent. So first identify the XPath for the child, then navigate to the parent, and then try to find the sibling. So this is how we can use it. So what I will do, I'll take this as a base for the male selected. Okay, so I'll take XPath, then rather than this we can use it basically like this. So XPath, the first part will be the label. Under the label, if you see, under the label we have this, right? Under the label we have as a child span. Okay, similarly for the female selected, we can also use female selected, and but so you have to use, I think you have to use this one, parent label. Okay, I think, yeah, I think we can put it for the, sorry, for the better organization. I will put it under here, and I will move this up. So this is female, this will be female selected, this will be female selected. Up to here I will be doing, okay, and after that I will be doing a female selected. Okay, so let us go and execute this. Yeah, So it is doing the female click. If you see the browser here, it's not visible. So I think I did something wrong. Okay, so maybe I'll click on a female. Focus checked, yes, but this is under the female. So if I go to here, yeah, this should be correct. Okay, let us go and check here what is wrong. No, it is not finding it. Gender female, label span at class. Oh, it's not. This itself is wrong. I think this is what is causing wrong. This is correct. And then I have a span at class equals to yeah, they should find that. I think this is the one we need to use. Yeah, let us try to see this. Something is wrong happening. Okay, let us try to execute this again. Think now it is failed for the mail itself. ID. Okay, let us comment this for a time being and try to see whether it selects the female or not. Yes, it has performed this. The meanwhile, I'll try to debug why this particular element is not visible. I found out the root cause for the failure. Actually, after clicking the radio button, we are trying to check the span is visible or not, which is not a correct condition to validate. It is not a visibility condition that we have to validate. So as soon as you perform the click operation, the property, the class property of the class value of the span element changes. So instead of this, what we can do, we can try to check whether this particular element is present in the page or not, in the entire web page or not. For that, we will have to use a different functionality. For that we will have to use the different Selenium function which is called wait until the page element contains the span, right? Similarly here also, but make sure that you give a proper sleep between the click operation and then this particular item gets reflected so that Selenium properly reads it. Okay, let us give a sleep of give a sleep of 2 seconds. I will also introduce a sleep of 2 seconds for a time being. So for a time being, I will put a breakpoint here just to check whether this statement goes through or not. Try to debug this. If you see it has come to here, then I will do a step. It passed actually, and again I will try to see this. It has selected the female, and now I will do a step through. It passed. Now I am closing all the browsers. So this is how you have to use instead of checking for the visibility of an element. Okay, so actually the span is not actually an element. Okay, it is an the part of the web page that gets the class value or whose property get reflected changed when you perform the certain action on the radio button. So it is not again like the visibility, it is again the wait until the page contain that particular span element. Okay, so this is how we can basically write a custom functionality to check whether a particular radio button is selected or not. Similarly, for the checkbox, we can go and identify the locator. It should be similar to the radio button as well. Let us go and check it. If you click here, and it is also similar to the radio button. See, it has got an ID, it has got a name. Okay, that's a group, and then its type is checkbox, and the value is a speeding. Okay, this is the actual locator of this checkbox, but as we saw in case of the radio button, the robot framework also gives a function to work with the checkboxes like select checkbox. Let us go and check that. Selenium library dot select checkbox. It takes a locator, but unfortunately sometimes this function doesn't work properly, so we may have to end up in writing our own customized function, which is nothing but performing a click operation on the element and then checking whether the class property has been changed or not. Okay, so here as soon as I check here, the class property basically changed. If I uncheck it, it will be in a different state. For example, if I go here, yeah, it is check, right? Speeding is an, so for example, if I go here, yeah, it's a check, but when I click here, it will be check and focus check. So based on this, I think, yeah, it is checked now. It is checked. Oh, when the focus is on this, it will be on focus checked, and when you so when I go here to the third one, that is a cliff diving, it is selected, but I click here, it will be on a focus. Oh, so when I check this, it will be on a focus check. So there are two properties basically. Okay, so I click here, it is a focus checked. If I click bungee jump, it's on a ideal focus checked. Ideal focus checked. Fourth one, ideal checked. When the focus is on this, it will be focus checked. Otherwise, it will be ideal checked. So let us try to see when we click the particular element with checkbox whether this value is changing or not, and we can also uncheck that. When we uncheck, it will be, if I go to speed, it will be ideal check focus. It will be ideal check focus or ideal check. Okay, so these are the properties we need to use in order to write our customize function. Let us go and try it, and before that I think we'll have to identify the locator, which is / input / input at id equals to a speeding id equal to speeding, and then we will have to take a parent of that, right? So the parent will be like / parent, then : label. Similarly, for each of these it will be like this. So I think we can dynamically construct the parent element, parent label, based on the ID, right? Based on the ID. For speeding, this will be the parent label, and for the bungee jumping, this is a parent label. So we can basically dynamically construct it using a string concatenation function. Okay, so let us try to use this. What I will do, I will take the value only for 2 checkboxes. So instead of radio button, I can use a checkbox. Checkbox speeding. This is an XPath. And then, yeah, this is a parent, right? So similarly, we can also have, then it is checked, and we can also use like this, right? Then after that, so for we can take it for another one, which is bungee jumping. Okay, now we will try to write a small function to do a check and uncheck operation like we did it for radio button. So what I did is I already created a small code snippet to work with the checkbox. I will be going up to the page where it contains a checkbox. Then I will be checking whether wait until the element is visible, and I will be passing the locator as a speeding. I have made a mistake, I guess. It is not speeding here, it is a bungee jumping. So once Once it is done, what I will do is I will try to click an element, that is selecting the, and after that I will verify whether it is checked or not. For this we should use Selenium library dot page should contain it's not a text, right? It's an element, sorry, it should be wait until the page contains checked. Then I'll try to close the browser. Let's check whether it is working or not. That is with the Selenium library dot close all the browsers. Since it has two states, maybe we can try to capture the state of both of them, right? So might be now it may fail, yeah, because it did not appear, right? So yeah, it may also contain the focus. Let us try to put a focus. If I click here, this guy will be checked and it will be focused. So I'll use this just for an experiment, just to check whether he passes or not. On this one, check focus checked, check focus checked, check ideal checked focus. See, it's focus, it is focus checked, idea check, focus checked. Now I have changed the value to idea check, focus checked. Now let us try to execute this. I'll put a breakpoint here. So it worked. It basically selected a checkbox. Similarly, we can also use to select the bungee jump as well. So we will copy paste first this. And then I'll try to execute this now. I think I have done an error. I'll stop this execution. So yeah, I'll try to re-execute it.
So I have really made an error. So variable name is not the same. I think now it should work. See, it passed. So the main when you are trying to select, when I'm trying to click a particular element, right? So you have to check for the focus as well. It is better that we set focus to that particular element, and then we will try to check whether this particular the class the value is selected or not. Okay, so we can write a custom function to select and unselect a checkbox. Let us try to do that. When we try to focus a checkbox, it can be in any of the two states. Either it will be focus checked, or it will be ideal checked. See, now I bought a focus to bungee jump. That is why the bungee jump is focus checked, and the speeding was ideal checked. Using these two properties, I can identify whether a particular checkbox is selected or not. So I have written a customized function to select and unselect a checkbox. I have this is a keyword select unselect checkbox. I am passing the two parameters. One is a type of the operation I want to perform, which is select or unselect, and then I will be basically passing the base locator, which is the parent locator for identifying a checkbox. So what I have done here is there is one keyword which is called as an run a keyword and return a status. This keyword, when we are not unable to find a particular element for a given explicit wait or an implicit wait, whatever the time set within that duration, it will not basically throw an exception. Rather than it will return a status as true or false. Okay, I will be using that functionality to check whether a given checkbox is in select or select, like idle check, focus checked, or normal checked. Okay, so what I have done here is I'll be dynamically creating the locator based on the parent locator. My parent locator will be up to label. After that, I will be concatenating it. Okay, I'll be first concatenating with status as focus checked. Then I will try to check in a page whether this element contains focus checked or not. Okay, if it is contains focus checked, then it will give me a status as a true. Then I will come out of this. I will not enter into this if loop. Then I will come out of it. If it is not, again I will be checking for another condition, and if a particular checkbox is checked, it will have to pass one of these conditions. So when for example, if a checkbox is checked, then the return value will be true. Then if I want to select that checkbox, I need not have to do anything because it is already in a select condition. So what I am doing in this loop is, if it is the operation is select, I will be checking for the return value. If the return value is false, that means it is in a unselect state. Then only I am clicking it. Otherwise, I will not be doing any operation. Okay, for the for the unselect case, that means I will be checking again these two conditions. That means if the one of these condition that passes, that means your the checkbox is in a selected state. So in order to unselect it, if this value is true, then only I will be clicking the checkbox to make it as unselect. If it is already in an unselect state, that means it will not pass through these two conditions. The value of the return value will always be in a false value, because it will not be in a focus checked or normal checked, the value will always be in a false condition. And if it is a false condition, it is already in unselect state, then I will not be doing any operations. Okay, what I have done, I have called these two functions, this function in order to select speeding and bungee jump, and after that I will be unselecting it, and again I am trying to unselect it. It will not in a fourth case here, it will not perform any operations. Okay, let us go and try to execute this test. I will put a breakpoint here. So I will go and execute it. In the first two cases, it has to select a bungee jump and speed. It will take some time to execute, because it will trying to find an element in a page up to 10 seconds. The wait period I have given, I think, a 10 seconds. So it will wait for 10 seconds, and then for the focus checked, and again normal checked, it will again take a 10 second, and in total it will wait for 20 second. After that it will go and select a speeding and bungee jump item. It has already selected speeding. It is taking time to verify bungee jumping. Now if you see here, it has already selected them. Now I am going to unselect the speeding one. I'll put a breakpoint again here. I'll try to resume. So it is waiting whether it is, yeah. So if you see, it has unselected now. So again I am trying to give unselect of checkbox speeding. It will not perform any operation, but it will take some time because it is verifying the presence, right? So let us try to execute this as well. Resume the program. Yeah, the operation is completed. So that means it has not performed any operation here. So now let us close the browser. This is how basically you can write your own custom function to perform select and unselect operation with the checkbox. So the test case is also passed. Next we will try to understand the text and element retrieval, such as get text, attributes, and getting some CSS properties for a given element. Selenium exposes a lot of functions to interact with the elements and try to retrieve the text and element properties. Let us go and explore this. For this I am going to create a test case. Retrieve element properties. First case, we will try to extract the text. So we'll use the same thing. So what we are doing, we are opening a Edge browser, navigating to the demo URL, and then we are waiting till the automobile element is visible. Okay, what? So we are waiting for this particular element, and after that, using the get text, the keyword from Selenium, we are trying to extract the text which is automobile. I'll just copy this and I'll paste this here, and Selenium provides the function to retrieve the text which returns the text of a given element. Get element, get text. Okay, so we need to pass a locator. Locator is automobile locator automobile element, and we can compare the retrieved text with the expected text. Should to be equal to as a strings. The first one is automobile, second one is the retrieved text. After this, I'll close the browser. Let us go and execute this. Yeah, it has completed the operation and it retrieved the text called automobile. See, retrieve text is equal to automobile. Then we are comparing, and this test case is passed now. This is how we can retrieve the text from any given element using the keyword getText. Selenium also provides another keyword called as an getAttribute. In case if you pass the locator for a particular element and try to get some attribute of that element, then you can use the getAttribute. Okay, for example, uh, if you want to get the href for this particular element, which is basically a link, if I click, it takes me to another page, and if I pass the identifier or a locator for the visit support element, and if I need to get an href value, then I can use the get attribute function. Let us go and try to use this. I'll use the id for this. For this, what I need to use is Selenium library get element attribute, and the locator is, I think we have used id, sorry, not that one, id colon visit supporter. Instead of hard coding, we can also put it into a variable under the variable section. That is locator visit support. So I will take this, then I will replace this with the variable name. The attribute I am interested is href value. Then I should catch this. Instead of retrieval text, I will use ret attr attributes. Then I will try to log the retrieved attribute, and I will put a breakpoint here, and let us go and try to execute this. And if you see the variables here, and we have attribute is https support tricentis.com, and the written text is automobile. So this is what basically we are expecting, right? So if I go to the website, the href value is https support tricentis.com. This is how we can fetch the different attribute values. So in case if you want to retrieve the name, you can pass name as an attribute, then it will return support. So so you can go and try with the different elements. For example, you can also try to get an action, which is a JavaScript, go to support and things like that. Okay, any attribute if you want to retrieve, you can use get element attribute keyword from robot framework Selenium. In case if you want to retrieve a text from the text input box or an text area, then Selenium provides a function or a keyword called as getValue, and you have to pass a locator as a parameter. So for this exercise, what we will do is we will try to use this search box, and the ID of this search box is search form. I will be doing, I will be typing some text as BMW for example, and then I will try to retrieve this text. Okay, let us go and try to use this. I'll try to create a test case for this. Retrieve text from text input. I'll copy paste till here. I have already captured the ID for search form, identifier for this locator for the search form. I'll be waiting till this particular element is visible on the page. Search element is visible on the page. After that, I'll be inputting text to the locator, text as test true. Then I'll use clear equals to true. Then I'll try to retrieve a text, that is ret_val, which is equals to Selenium library dot get value, and the locator is search form. Then I can compare, like should be equal as a string, return value will be equals to test true. Then I will try to close the browser. Let us go and execute this. Yeah, so let us see, the return value is test true. Now let us close the browser. This is how you can retrieve the text from a given text box or a text area. Now we will try to perform some browser navigation based action, such as navigating through the URL, then going forward and backward in a web page, refreshing the pages, reloading the pages, handling the new windows and tabs, and how to handle the histories. In Selenium, you can navigate to a particular URL while opening the browser itself. You can pass the input URL as a parameter, or you can also use a keyword called goto. Let us try to understand how to use them. For this, I will create a test case called navigate to URL. Navigate to URL. I'll copy paste I'll directly use the command Selenium library dot open browser, which does not take any parameter, but we can give edge as a parameter. Okay, edge as a parameter. If you want, you can also specify the URL that it needs to navigate. Okay, let us put a one parameter as the URL where it has to navigate, which web page it has to open, and which browser it has to use. Okay, and if you see, there is no mandatory parameters. All of them you can pass it as none, right? So You know how it works. I need not have to explain it. We have used multiple times. Okay, but still let us try to execute this. Yeah, this is how it works. Instead of navigating to a particular web page during the web browser, we can navigate to the web page using another Selenium keyword called as goto. Let us try to use that keyword. So what I have to do is um, I will call the goto keyword here, and I will pass the URL as a parameter, and I will, in the open browser keyword, I'll be passing only the type of browser. If I pass directly the type of browser, the open browser command will think edge as an URL. Okay, in order to overcome this, what I have to do, I have to give the browser as a have to pass the parameter for the browser, like browser equal to edge. This is the right way of using it. Okay, what I will do, I will try to put a breakpoint here and execute up to here and see what happens, how the Selenium opens the session of Edge browser. If you see, it just opened the Edge browser without any URL. Okay, now with this command go to, it will navigate to this particular the web page. Yeah, if you see, this has opened the web page that is of our interest. Okay, remaining keywords we have already gone through. I'll just skip that, and finally I will close all the browser. This is how we can use the go to keyword to navigate to a particular web page of our interest. Hope you understood this. Let us try to understand how to handle the go back scenario in Selenium. Okay, so I am in the home page of Trisantis demo application. I'll click automobile. The new page opens up, and if I go back, it brings me back into the page where I can see the get quote or automobile. When I come back using the back button, I'll see welcome aboard, right? Welcome aboard. So I will try to inspect this, try to get a locator for welcome aboard, and this is with the class as section title, and the value is welcome aboard. So let us take this one, and we can construct a locator / h2 at class equals to section title. And text equals to welcome aboard. Yeah, so I am creating a locator based on the combination of two properties, class and the text. Okay, so this is how we can do at class equal to section title and the text containing a text welcome aboard. I'll go and put this into my variable. So okay, this is an XPath. This I will use it for locator welcome. I'll copy this and I'll paste here. I'll create a small text case. Navigate back, and I'll call this. I think there is an where I will be clicking, right? I will be clicking this, and I think I should also wait for the element to appear. Then I will do Selenium library dot go back. Then I will wait until this element is visible. Or I can also wait until this element is present in a page. Okay, let us go and execute it. Yeah, let us put a breakpoint here just to make you see what is happening, otherwise it will be very quick. Right, if you see, it has already clicked automobile, it went to the new page, and by pressing the back key it came back. Yeah, this is how you can utilize the go back keyword to navigate back to the web page. In case of Selenium, there is no direct keyword to perform go forward like go back, but we can do this using execute JavaScript with the help of the history. Okay, so let us try to see how to do this. So instead of this, I will just copy paste the entire code base. What I will do here, instead of go back, I will do a go forward. First I will go back, then I will wait until the particular element is visible or not. Then I will try to do a go forward using Selenium execute JavaScript in a synchronous fashion, and for this I will be using the parameter as window.history.forward. So you can go to Google and search how the execute JavaScript works and what are the different commands that are available to perform different kind of operation, like how do I go back, how do I go forward, how do I scroll to a particular element in case of a list, or in case of a in case if your page is not visible, and things like that. You can basically perform all these operations by running certain JavaScripts, but detailed documentation, Selenium basically official documentation of robot frameworks provides some insight on the execute JavaScript. If you want to find detailed what kind of commands that we have to use along with the execute JavaScript, and for example window.history.forward can perform the forward operation. Similarly, if you want to know what are the different commands that are available to perform the different operations, you will have to go to Google and search for it. I will also try to provide you some links where you can find what command to be used when, okay, for which operation basically. Okay, what I will do now, I will put a breakpoint here and I will try to execute this now. Yeah, if I go back, see, it has went back and it has come forward using the history by looking at the history of all the operations. This is how go forward works with the help of execute script. Now let us try to understand the window handling. The window handling is nothing but while trying to automate if multiple window appears, how to handle the newly opened window, how to trying to interact with the elements of this newly opened window, and how to close the newly opened window and come back to the original window. For this, what we can do, we can take a simple example where we will go and click on the request demo. As soon as you click on the request demo, the new window opens or a new tab opens. Okay, and what we will try to do, we will try to verify some of the items in this tab, and then we will close this tab and we will come back to the main tab. So this is the operation I am going to do using Selenium. Selenium introduces a concept called window handling. As soon as you open multiple windows, there is a functionality called get window handles, which basically gives you the list of windows that are opened or that are active at that point in time, and which will basically return me the array with some hexadecimal values that gives a handle to each of these windows, using which we can navigate from one window to another window. The index 0 always contains the main window, the index 1 contains the next window, index 2 contains the next open window, and so on. Let us go step by step and try to create a test case for this. And the test case is handling the windows. Handling windows. I will try to open a browser and try to verify this particular element is visible or not. Once it is done, I have to go and click the request button. So for that I need to capture the locator to locate that request demo, and ID is download. Is it download trial? Yeah, ID is download trial. Let us go and see if we already have this item here. We don't have it, so we will put it as ID equals to, and instead of locator welcome, I will put it as request demo, and I will use this. I will try to click that Selenium dot click element, locator is this one. Then I will do a little bit of sleep in order to, I will give a good amount of sleep. Let us stay 2 seconds so that I can capture all the window handles properly. Now there is a function in Selenium. This is called window handles that return me get window handles, and it does not take any parameters. Then we will try to close all the browsers. Okay, and we will see what this variable basically contains. I'll put a breakpoint here and trying to execute this. Let us see whether it captures all the window handles for a currently open windows or open tabs. Okay, if I come and see, there are I think there are two. Okay, it will return me an array with the two elements now. The first element is the handle of the main window, and the second one is the window that is opened by clicking the the request button, right? So once it opens, now I have to, in order to perform any kind of operations on this particular window, I will have to do switch to window, and thereby after that I can try to identify the elements within that window. Then I can perform close window, and then I can come back to my original the original web page. Okay, let us do that now. I'll basically close this here. My script is ready. What I am doing, if you know, in the from the previous when we ran for the previous time, we were able to get the all the window handles, right? There were two window handles, one for the main window and one for the request demo window. And then I will be switching the window based on the window handles. I will be switching the second window handle, because always the index starts with a 0 in an array. So I will be, the one means it is the second window handle. That means it goes to basically this page, and after that what I am doing is I am basically waiting for accept all cookies to visible, and once it is done I will click this accept cookies, and then I will be closing this window so that I will come back to the main window. So that is what I am trying to do here. So I will be waiting for the accept all cookies, and after that I will click all the accept all cookies, and then I will close the window. Let us go and execute this. It has done that work, and now it has closed the window and came back to the main window. Now I will close all the browsers. This is how basically we can navigate, or we can switch between the different windows using the window handles. Okay, and without closing also we can basically come back to the original window, and again we can go back to the other window as well. That also I can showcase. We can extend this script to do that operation as well. Now I have extended the script. So once it performs the accept all the cookies, it will come back to the main window, which has got an window handle of 0. After this I will be waiting until the automobile element is visible. That means I am here, I am clicking this, and I am coming back and waiting for automobile element to be visible, and after that again I am going back to the request demo window, and then I will be closing this window. Let us go and execute this. Please observe this clearly, what it is doing. It came back and again it went back. This is how we can basically switch between different windows. Hope you understood this concept. Sometimes it is needed to refresh the pages. Selenium provides the keyword to refresh the page, which is Selenium reload page. Okay, the reload page is a keyword that perform the refresh of operation on the current web page. Okay, and so similarly, how we navigated to the front using window history forward, we can also do the same operation using execute JavaScript window history backward as well. Okay, if you do the backward, it will basically go back. Okay, but Selenium already provided a keyword to go back. We can readily use that, but in case if you want to experiment, to going back in the web page, you can perform this operation using the JavaScript as well. Let us try to understand about the iframes. So in my previous session as well, I have talked about basically what is an iframe. Iframe is an HTML document within another HTML document. There will be a main HTML document under which there will be the sub HTML document. That is called as an iframe. I already gave a little bit of overview what is iframe. So in order to work with the iframe, I will be using the Lambda test Selenium playground website. If I go into the iframe demo, and then if I try to inspect this, I see this one is an iframe. Okay, this is an iframe. If you see, this is an iframe and ID is iframe1. Okay, and under which there is a complete HTML document. If you see, this is my the root document containing the complete web page, under which there will be another document that is pointing to this iframe. In such cases, it is not easy to identify the element. I cannot go and directly give, in order to identify this particular element text box, I cannot text area, I cannot directly go and say the class has RSWCE. Before that, I need to switch to this iframe, and after switching to this iframe, then I can perform this operation. I can perform this operation like doing clicking, writing, inputting some text and things like that. And once that is done, I will have to unselect the iframe so that I can come back to the main page. Let us see how we can work with the iframes in Selenium. Let's go and create a test script that will basically launch this website, Lambda test website. Let us go and create a handling iframes. Okay, and I'll be using the Selenium Lambda test Selenium playground. So I will open the browser and I'll maximize this. I'll pass this as a URL. Once it is done, I will have to wait till this page loads, and the page loads, and it has an element called iframe demo. Let us go and select a locator for this, and the text is and the text. Okay, how do what I can do, let us try and see, or I can also go with the text element. Let us see if I can go with the text //a with text equals to, let me see how many occurrences are there. If there is one occurrence, then we can use this, but it is not a good way of locating the element. So this is with the X path, and wait until the element is visible. Once that is done, I will be performing a click operation dot click element. Once it is done, then I will go and identify whether it has landed into this page, and I will go and locate the element simple frame, which is again using a text //h1 text equals to, this is also one occurrence. Let's see with this element is visible or not. This again XPath, and I can also use, once it is done, now what I need to do, I will have to switch to this iframe or select this iframe. For that I need basically an ID. The iframe ID here is this value. Okay, so let us keep it here. Let us see what function Selenium provides, or select a frame. Then you have to provide a locator. The locator is ID colon this one. Once this is done, then I will try to identify the element, that is the div with class as rswce, so / division let class equals to, there is again one occurrence, so we can use this. Then I can say Selenium wait till the element is visible. My script is ready now. So if you see, I have added 2 more lines. As soon as I open this particular URL, it asks for hello, accept all, right? Hello all. So I will be doing that. Okay. Once I accept all, then it will allow me to click to the iframe demo. And once I do that, then I am basically going inside the web page, and I will be waiting till the simple iframe is visible or not. Okay. After that, what I will do, I will try to select a frame which is called as an ID iframe1, and then I will be waiting till the the text area is visible. Once it is done, I will be inputting the data into the text area as test troop. Then what I will do, I will unselect the frame. Once I unselect the frame, it comes back to the main window, and again I'll be waiting till this particular heading to come. Okay, when I am in this iframe, if I try to identify this element using a locator, it will not be visible, because my focus is currently within this iframe. So I'll have to come out of this particular iframe to back to the main window in order to main page, in order to identify the sample iframe text. That is what I am doing. I am unselecting the frame, then I am waiting for the text to visible. Once it is done, I will be closing all the browser. Let us go and execute this. It clicked hello all. Now it clicked the iframe. If you see, it has inputted test troop as a text inside this text area, and after that it unselected this iframe. Now the control is back to the main page, and then it identified, it perform a wait till this particular element is visible. Okay, that step is also done. Now I am going to close the browser. This is how basically you can play around with the iframes. Whenever there is an iframe, you need to switch to the iframe using the keyword called select frame, providing a locator. Once this operation is done with that iframe, then you will have to do the unselect iframe to come back to the main web page, and then you can perform the other actions or interaction with the main web page. Hope you understood this concept. Using Selenium, we can also play around with the alerts, such as handling the alerts, pressing an OK button, dismissing alert, getting and reading a text from an alert box, and also sometimes passing a message. Like sometimes the alert also comes with the kind of an input box. We can also send a text to this alert box, and then we can dismiss the alert box. So Selenium provides a list of keywords to handle the alerts. So to demonstrate the alerts, I will be using the Lambda test Selenium playground again. Then I am going to JavaScript alerts, under which there are three alerts. The first one is the normal JavaScript alert, that is like when I click here, it will bring out an alert. Here what we can do, we can read a text from this alert box, and then we can perform the OK action. That is the first type of alert. Second type of alert is we have the two buttons here, OK or cancel. So we can accept by clicking OK, and we can cancel by pressing cancel. That is called alert accept, all alert, dismiss. Dismiss is like pressing a cancel button. That is the second type of alert. Third type of alert is where it will ask you for entering some kind of an input. Like for example, I can give a test troop. It accepts basically an input, and then I can press OK or cancel. So these are the different kind of an alerts that are available in a web page, and Selenium provides a list of the keywords to handle these alerts. Let us go one by one. I have written already a small script to handle an alert. I will come to my pie chart. I have created a script called handle alert. I will be opening the Selenium playground from Lambda test web page. Then I will be accepting allow all, and once it is done, I will be clicking on JavaScript alerts. Okay, I will be clicking on. Sorry. I'll be clicking JavaScript alerts. This brings up this particular page showing the three different alerts, and out of which I'll be selecting the first one. And so in order to identify them uniquely, I'll be using the class, then the P, which has got a text called alerts, and then the button. So if I go and try to inspect this, and if I try to hover over click me, so this is under a class under which I have a JavaScript alert, under which there is a button. So the JavaScript, so see in these three buttons you can only uniquely identify these texts. Okay, these texts are different for different boxes. That is why I'll also be using um, this particular item, the paragraph with the text as JavaScript alert or an confirm box or an prompt box to uniquely identify the click button. So here if you see, I'll be using that, and then I'll be performing a click operation. Once the click is done, I am deliberately giving a sleep so that we can see the alert, and then I will be performing the action as the accept using a Selenium keyword handle alert. If I go to the documentation of handle alert, it takes the parameter which is called as an action. Action can have the like accept, dismiss, or leave. Accept is like pressing OK button. Dismiss is like pressing the cancel button, and leaving the alert open. This is what we can do. So let us go and execute this. So now you can see an alert box, but I have deliberately given a sleep. So it has basically accepted alert, right? It has accepted a alert. Now the control is here. So it has accepted alert. Now I'll close the browser. This is how you can accept or you can dismiss an alert. Currently, I could not find any method to retrieve the text from a given alert box or a pop-up. but there is a function in Selenium robot framework that can verify the alert text. Okay, for example, in this case, I am an alert box is a text. Okay, so we can basically verify the alert text using a keyword. So I have copied that text, Selenium library dot alert should be present, and I can pass this as a text. Now let us go and understand what this keyword is all about. Let us hover to see the documentation of this keyword. It says that it verifies that alert is present, and by default it accepts it. Okay, it takes the parameter as the text, alert text, and then the action type. Action is accept or dismiss or leave, and fails if no alert is present. If the text is a non-empty string, then it is used to verify the alerts message. Okay, the alert is accepted by default. Okay, so what we can do, you can put it as accept, but this is actually not needed. And after executing this keyword, basically the alert will be accepted. So I need not have to execute alert handle keyword again. Let us go and execute the script. Yeah, it handled the alert. Okay, so now this is passed. Now let me close the browser. This is how we can basically verify the alert text. Now let us try to automate an alert that takes an input text. Okay, this alert has a text box that takes as an input, and after once the input is fed, then we can basically dismiss or you can accept the alert. Let us go and try to automate this. And for this, what I will do, I will copy and paste this. Up to here it is correct, and then I am trying to click a button which is a prompt box. So let us go and fetch an identifier or a locator for this. And if you see, the P paragraph with the text has prompt box. So I'll have to replace Java alerts with the prompt box. Yeah, let us copy this and trying to see if it works or not. Yeah, so it's perfect, it works. So here I will also remove these two statements, instead of which what I will do is I will do alert input text, and I'll pass the input text as test troops, and it also takes another parameter. I think by default it accepts. Okay, it accepts an alert. So I can also, I need not have to give this, but I'm also passing another parameter. Now let us go and execute this. I think there is some mistake I have done, I guess. Okay, let us clicking that, click an element, it is not clicking the element. I should click a prompt box Oh, there are two. Okay, there are two test cases with the same name. So, sorry, there is. Let us close this. Okay, so instead of alert, what I will do is handle alert input. Let us try to execute this now. Hope it should work. Yes. I think it dismissed the alert box and see you have entered test troops. See the message? You have entered test troops. So that is how it works basically. So you have passed the input to the alert box. Hope you understood this. Let us try to work with the table. The table is used to display the data in a structured format in terms of the rows and columns. These are the rows, these are the rows. The horizontal is rows, verticals are column. Okay, and if you see in case of table, the table will always start with tag as table, and let us go and examine one of the element, and from there if you go to its the parent element, table always starts with the um, tag as a table, then it has got a body, sometimes it also has an the header, that is means heading, right? We have here heading, first name, last name, gender, like that. So heading will be displayed separately, and then there will be a body. The body is the one which actually carries data, and it is organized in rows and columns. Under body you have the row, under row you have the column, under the row you have a column. So it is basically an two-dimensional array. Okay, and you can put two for loops, one starting from the number of rows, starting with the number of rows, that is an outer for loop, and inner for loop you can basically navigate through each of these columns, and you can display each and every element of it. I'll try to write basically a small script that will display all the names that are given here, all the data that is given here. First it starts with the going through the rows, and then for each row it travels to the column and try to get the details that is shown in the table. Okay, so you can basically write an XPath that starts with the table / table with an ID as an example, and then you can give a body. The immediate the element is a body. Let us try to construct the locator for this table. So I will take a table ID as an example, / table at id equals to id equals to example. There is a one occurrence which has got a body, table body, t body, right? And if you see t body, there is a one t body, under which if I give tr, then it says the number of rows, right? It gives the number of rows. Then what I can do, then I can take one of the index as one of the rows. This will show the first row, under which if I give td, and then it will show the number of the columns. So we have to basically up to if you see up to t body, it is the static locator is static. Then we can construct the dynamic locator has tr of 1 2 3 4, like that. We can using a for loop with the range starting from 1 to the number of rows. Similarly, the inner loop with the column starting from 1 to number of columns. I will go and write the script offline and try to once I finish writing, we will have a walk over that script and try to understand what I am doing basically. My script is ready to traverse across the rows and columns of a given table. And if you see, I'll be using the XPath for the table as table with an ID as an example. Then I have a body and /tr in order to identify the rows in a given table. Okay, let us go to the scripts. Okay, what I will be doing, I am opening a browser and then I am navigating to lambda test Selenium playground in an Edge browser. Then after that I will be maximizing the browser. Once it is done, I will be giving allow all to the settings, whatever these websites. When I open the website for the first time, it is asking to accept some settings. I will be accepting all, and after that I will be waiting for a page to load the table data download. That is basically this particular the element, right? This particular element. I'll be clicking that will take me to a page where the table is located. So this is a table. This table has got 10 rows and 1 2 3 4 5 6 columns. First I will be getting the count of the rows using the table locator table row. This will give me as a 10. Since I have to use the for loop in a range, I have to increment it by 1. So I will be creating a for loop and I will be iterating over a for loop, and inside the for loop I will be building a locator for the each column under each row. So this will be locator table row, that is up to td. Then it will be an open bracket and close bracket. It is something like tr with 1/td for the first time. Second time this will be 2, third time it will be 3, and so on. Okay, and after this, for the now I will be getting a count of number of columns in a given row, and I will be again incrementing by 1, so that I can use a for loop. Now again I am iterating to the for loops for a given row for each column. Okay, then again I am dynamically constructing a locator which has the column locator, that is up to /td, then the bracket with the index, something like this. Okay, this will be from 1 to 6 because there are 6 rows in a table, and during which I'll also be setting up a variable to collect the column text, which will collect all the column text while iterating through the columns. Then first initially I will be initializing to empty. Then what I am doing, as soon as I get each column text, then I will be appending it to the column text value. So I will be initially it is empty, then it will get the first the column data, which is Abraham, and then I will be adding 2 spaces. After that again, when it comes to the second iteration, it will fetch the data as Ferguson, right? It will add a data as a Ferguson, then it will append for the Abraham, it will give 2 spaces, then it will append Ferguson, then again it will give 2 spaces. This will continue in a loop till it completes all the columns and all the rows. At the end of each column, it will basically print the column text. So let us go and try to execute this. I will be running it here, I will not be debugging it. It is navigating, it is done now. It is executed. Now I will go to log folder and try to open log.html with the Chrome browser, and if you see, this is where I am iterating from 1 to row count. It is from 1 to 10. For each row, I will be navigating again within the column, that is via the for loop. There are 6 the columns, and at the end of 6 column I will be writing the column text. It will be something like this: Abraham, Ferguson, male 19, and things like that. And for the last row, the log text will be Lyndon Thompson, male 20, programmer, and 1. If I come to the page, the table page, you see this is how the text is organized. This is how I will also be displaying in the log. So this is how we can basically navigate through the columns and rows of the given table. Okay, hope you understood this concept. Now let us try to understand how to perform the advanced interaction with the web elements, such as mouse hover, mouse clicks, right clicks, drag and drop, and keyboard actions. In this website, we have an item called key press. When we go here, there is an text box which takes an input. For example, if I click enter, it basically shows what key you have entered. Okay. For example, if I press shift, it shows shift. If I press caps lock, it shows caps lock. If I press tab, it shows a tab. So what we'll do, we will try to send a key for this particular text box using Selenium. Selenium basically gives 2 important keywords to send the special keys. Not only special key, in generally the keyboard events, which are called as the press key and press keys. Press key is to send a single character, which can be any character like normal alphabets, numbers, special characters, or the special characters like enter, control, shift, etc. In case of a special characters, you have to basically follow or you have to use the ASCII code of that particular the character. For example, for enter, the ASCII code is /13. So there is a detailed documentation about the different keys that are supported by the Selenium. I will take you through that. And whereas press keys, we can send a multiple keys, right? For example, if you want to press Control Alt Delete, then you have to send Control plus Alt plus Delete. So if you're sending a multiple keys, then you will have to use press keys. Each characters or each keys of a keyboard can be sent with separated by the plus sign. So when you put a plus sign, it sees that you are entering different characters, right? Different keys. For example, Alt is one key plus arrow down is another key. This is separated by a plus key. This is the syntax how you need to basically pass the multiple keys. The multiple keys should be separated by the plus characters. This is basically the detailed documentation about the keyboard keys that are supported by Selenium and the associated the codes for it. Okay, if you see, there is a /u, then there is an hexadecimal character. The /u is called as an Unicode, then separated by E000, which is an hexadecimal number. Okay, so each key is associated with an hexadecimal number with an Unicode in a Unicode format. For the enter, it is /UE007. Okay, for shift, let us search what is the code for shift. For shift, it is 008. For the control, it is 009. For the keyboard exercise, I'll go and press the key press. I have already captured the locator for this. Once I press, this lands into the new page with the text box where I can pass the different keys, including the special keys, right? So I have already written a script for this. Let us go and understand the script. So what I am doing, I am basically opening a browser, Edge browser, and navigating into the Lambda test Selenium playground URL. After that, I am accepting the cookies, hello all. Then I am basically pressing the key press. I'm waiting for it and then pressing it. After that, again I'm waiting for the text box. The locator for the text box is at id equal to my field. Okay, so I'll be using that, and then I am pressing the different keys. Okay, and then I am pressing the different keys. What we will do, see, if you see, then here I am pressing the enter key because UE007 is a code for the enter key. Then after this, what I will do, do a, I will do a sleep for 1 second. That is just to see what are the keys that I am pressing, just to basically show you. I think it is better that we put it as 5 seconds so that you can clearly see. And I will be using another code that is for shift. I have to use 008. Then I will be again giving a 5 seconds of sleep. Then again I will call this with 009. 009 is a code for control. Okay, now let us go and execute this. Press enter. I will press shift. Now it pressed control. Okay, see, now it pressed control. This is how basically you can make use of press keys to pass any keyboard keys like alphabetical or an numerical. Along with that, you can also send as special keys like caps lock, shift, alt, control. Okay, that are supported by the Selenium. Let us try to understand the press keys. Press keys is basically used for sending a combination of keys separated by a plus sign. If you want to press control and alt, you will have to send CTRL plus ALT, okay, which are basically the enum values for control and alt. So when we were using the press key, that is when we want to send a single key, then we were sending basically the Unicode value of the key. For example, UE007 is for enter, 008 for shift, 009 is for control. But in case of the press keys, we can directly send the enum values, and you can find the list of enums. You can find the list of enums under this website. Okay, if you want to send a tab, you can directly type tab. If you want to send an enter, you can type return. If you want to send arrow left, you can type it as arrow underscore left. But for the control and escape, you will have to use CTRL and ESC. Okay, that is why in my script I have written CTRL for control. Okay, let us go and try to execute press keys. Yeah, so it was so fast that the second the character that we entered is alt. Okay, so yeah, if you want to send F1 alone, then basically what you can do is you can or basically let us try to send arrow down. Okay, let us try to send arrow down, so I can directly press arrow down. So this can also be used to send a single key as well. It need not be the combination of key. In case if you want to send a combination of key, then it should be separated by a plus sign. Okay, so let us go and try to execute this test case. Yeah, see, we are sending down arrow. Yeah, so this is how we can send a single key or the combination of keyboard keys using the press key and press keys keyword from Selenium. I will put the link also in the documentation, so where you can find the list of the keys and its Unicodes as well. Selenium provides below set of keywords to interact with the element using mouse. The first one is mouse down, which simulate pressing of the left mouse button on an element. What it does when we use this keyword with the locator, it goes to the locator, navigates to the locator, and then it keeps the left mouse pressed until you use another keyword called as mouse up, which simulates releasing of the left mouse button for a given element. Okay, so we have to use mouse down in combination with mouse up. The mouse down presses the left button, whereas mouse up releases the left button. The mouse down on a link, it is also similar to pressing of the down button event, especially on an hyperlink. If you have an hyperlink, then you can use this particular keyword to perform the mouse down operation. Mouse over will simulate hovering of the mouse, like moving the mouse to the element of your choice, right? Mouse out is simulating moving the mouse pointer away from the element. Suppose if I bring the mouse here using mouse hover, for example, think that mouse out is an element in my web page. I am using mouse hover. I can bring the mouse cursor here. Then using mouse out, I will be moving my cursor away from this element. Mouse down on an image, it is similar to mouse down, but it is specially on an image, performing the clicking of the left mouse button on a image. Drag and drop is dragging the element and putting into the target element. Drags an element from the position and drops it on a target element, right? Open a context menu, it is like and performing a right click operation. Double click element will simulate a double click operation on an element. I have already written a script that simulates the mouse down, mouse up and drag and drop operation. Basically what I am doing is I am going to the Lambda test Selenium playground website. Then I will be clicking the drag and drop, that is using pressing the mouse down and then releasing the mouse. Okay, this will take me into the drag and drop demo page where I will be dragging these two elements. Okay, two elements. As soon as I drag the elements, it goes into dropped item list. Let us go and try to automate this. Okay, let us go and understand this script. First I will be opening the browser and maximizing it. Then I will be navigating into Lambda test Selenium playground and an Edge browser. Then I will be accepting the cookies. After that I will be waiting till the drag and drop item visible on the given web page. Once it is done, I will be setting a focus to that particular element using set focus to element, and after that I will be pressing the mouse down operation. This what it does, it basically comes here and presses the mouse down, it performs the mouse down operation. Okay, and after 1 second I will be releasing the mouse. Both of these keyword together will perform the Selenium click element operation. Okay, after that we will be navigating to the next page, the drag and drop simulation page. Then I will be waiting till a particular element is visible, and after that I will be dragging an element and putting into a target box. Okay, if you see here, this is my element and this is my target box. I will be dragging this element into the target box. So the the drag and drop keyword takes two parameters, the two locators. First one, the item to be dragged, and second one is the target space where the item has to be dragged. So since here we have two elements, I will be performing the drag and drop operation twice. Let us go and execute this script. Now it is performing the mouse up and down. It is done now. Now it is dragging. Is waiting for few seconds because we have provided a sleep performing sleep operation, right? And if you see, both of the items are dragged into the drop box so that it will be visible in the dropped item list. Oh, this is how we can use the mouse down button and mouse up button together. They perform the mouse click operation, not just a click operation. And after that, I will be performing a drag and drop operation. Drag and drop operation requires the two locators, the item to be dragged and dropped, and the target space where it has to be dropped. Now let us go and perform the mouse hover and mouse out operation. And I don't have an example to showcase mouse down on link, then mouse down on image, and I can also show open context menu, but I don't have an example to showcase double click as well. Okay, now let us go and try the mouse over and mouse out. Okay, for this exercise I will be clicking the hover demo item, then it takes me to mouse hover page. Then I will be hovering over this particular element, hover me element, so that the fill color goes off. And when I put the mouse away from it, again this element will be filled with the cover. When I come near to it, the fill color will go off and only the outline is shown. When I move away, the color again gets filled. Okay, this is basically a demo showcasing the mouse hover operation. Again, I have already created a script using mouse over and mouse out. I'll show that. What I am doing is, again, I am opening a browser, accepting all the cookies, clicking on the hover demo. This time I will be using a click element, and after that I am checking whether the element is visible or not. I will be basically checking this element is visible or not. And if I go and inspect this element has got a big the class. If you see, the class it has a multiple classes, right? Separated by the spaces, but that basically tells about its the style sheets, right? It tells about the CSS of this particular element, like the border. If you see here, let me go and click over here, and if you see, it says the green border, then the rounded edge, then the font type. All these things basically gives the styling characteristics for this element. Okay, so I have used this big class here to identify it. If you see, it is bigger one, and then I will be hovering a mouse on it, so that it will be only showcasing the element with the border. The fill will go. Then I will be moving the mouse out so that it can again get its fill back. Okay, the color fill back. So let us go and execute this particular test. Now see, it has performed the hover. Now it has moved. This is how you can use the hover and mouse out. Now let us use the context menu. For this I will be using the context menu item from the Selenium playground. So I will be clicking here. the item called context menu, takes me into this page, and there is a box here. If I right click on this box, it will show me an alert. Okay, this is an example page that is developed to showcase the right click operation. In case of robot framework Selenium, we can perform the right click operation using the open context menu keyword. Let us go and see how to use it. Again, my script is already ready. I'll be going and clicking the context menu, and after that I'll be waiting for the text box to visible. Once the text box is visible, then I'll be performing the right click operation using a keyword open context menu. Okay, let us go and execute this. See, yeah, so it performed the right click operation for using the open context menu keyword. This is a list of all the mouse operations that we can perform using the robot framework Selenium library on a web page. Hope you understood this. Let us try to understand the cookie management using the robot framework Selenium library. Selenium library provides a set of keywords to manage the cookies. Before we jump into managing the cookies, let us understand what is a cookie. Cookie is a small piece of data stored on user's device by a web browser while they are browsing a website. It helps the website to remember the information about their user, their preferences, their sessions, etc. Cookies are used to enhance the user experience and enable the functionalities such as user authentication, personalization, and session tracking. So Selenium, as I told, Selenium provides a list of keywords to handle the cookies. Let us try to see what are they. If I put cookie, it provides a keyword to add the cookies, to delete the cookies, to get the cookie, to get a particular cookie, get all the cookies, and delete all the cookies. Let us try to use them one by one. Most probably we will be using the add cookie and get all the cookies. Let us try to work with them. In this example on cookie management, what I have done, I have added a cookie, then I am getting all the cookies, then I will be deleting all the cookies and trying to get all the cookies again. Let us go to the documentation of add cookie. Add cookies takes two mandatory parameters which is called as name and value, which are basically required. This is a key value pair. Then we have path, domain, secure, and expiry, which are optional. So you will have to have a name and the associated value for the name. Here also I am passing a domain so that this cookie will be added to the domain lambdatest.com. After that I will be trying to get all the cookies and log them. Again I am trying to delete all the cookies and try to log them. Let us go and execute the script and see what happens. And make and also try to remember that cookies will be added to the current session only. Once you close all the browsers, that means session will be closed and the cookies will also be lost. Let us go and expand this, and if you see, you have test cookie, the name and the value is test true. Okay, this has been recorded here. Now what I will do, I will go and delete all the cookies. Deleted. I am trying to get all the cookies now, and the value is null. For this particular browser session, it has cleared all the cookies. It has cleared all the cookies. This is how we can basically manage the cookies. Let us try to execute this again. I will try to show these cookies in the currently open browser. Let us go to the debugging. Let us try to debug this. This is the currently active browser. So let me go to this browser. Let me go to settings, then cookies and site permission, under which manage and delete cookies and site data, under which see all the cookies. So this is my domain. See, if you see in my script, I have given domain as lambdatest.com, right? For the lambdatest.com, I have added the cookies. There are 14 cookies now, and out of which one of them is this one. If I go and expand this, I can see all the cookies here, right? So test cookie is the cookie that I have given in my script. If you see, my cookie name is test cookie and the value is test true. Let us go and expand this, how it looks like. The name is test cookie, the content is test true, the domain is lambdatest.com, path is / okay. This is how basically the cookies will be set using the Selenium robot framework Selenium keyword, right? So you can also see the expires when the browser session ends. As soon as the browser session ends, this cookie is also expires. That means we will not be able to see the test cookie once the session is closed. Okay, so now let us go and close the session. Let us execute, complete the execution so that it closes all the Selenium browsers. Okay, now if I go to my browser and then I go to settings, my Edge browser, then cookies, see, then I don't see any cookie by name lambdatest.com. Okay, it was only temporary. Okay, the setting was only temporary. Hope you understood this concept. That brings to the end of this session. In this session, we covered different Selenium interactions from basic element actions like clicking the button and entering the text to advanced tasks like handling the frames, windows, alerts, pop-ups, JavaScript execution, and the cookie management as well. Hope you enjoyed learning with me. In case if you find this video useful, please support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching.